Hey, all you beautiful people, it's me, Andrea. Hey guys, it's Andrea, and today I'm doing a review of Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. The first book was Cinder. The second one is this beautiful little Scarlet going on here. And that's the third one. I suggest if you have not read Cinder, the first book, and you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this because I don't want to spoil things for the first book. I did do a review of the first one. You can check that out in the link description below, or I might annotate here if I feel like being cool. So if you have not read Cinder, I suggest you leave now because I don't want to spoil anything for you. Bye! So this is the second book, and this actually starts with Scarlet, who is our loose telling of Red Riding Hood. Woo! Or Little Red Riding Hood, actually. Forgot the little. My bad. So Scarlet's grandmother is missing. She is trying to find her, and she believes that her grandmother was taken, but the police have stopped looking for her because everyone else thinks that she's crazy, the grandmother. And so they think that she just ran away because she was a Lunu. They've given up on her, but Scarlet thinks they're all stupid and decides that she's gonna try to figure it out herself. And within that, she ends up mating the character Wolf. His name is Wolf. Yep, that's right. Wolf. So Wolf ends up coming with her on this journey to find her grandmother. She has no idea why she is missing or why she was taken, but she also knows that they have messed with her father and whatnot. So she's going to figure that out and see what's going on with Grandma and why they took her. At the same time, we have Cinder being all freaking badass and escaping the prison. Along the way, she meets this man, Captain Thorn, who is amazing. And they escape together because he will help her, and he also has a ship in which they can escape from. So they end up being unlikely allies who bicker a lot in the beginning, which is amazing. And yeah. Alrighty, I don't really know how else to explain this without spoiling. I'm sorry, but if you have not read Scarlet, I suggest you leave now because I don't want to spoil anything for you about this beautiful little baby here. But I will say before you leave, actually, that I gave this 4.5 stars on Goodreads, which is 0.5 more than Cinder, because Cinder I gave 4, this I gave 4.5. So I did like this better. I did still find things in this predictable. Like, I actually predicted a good amount of stuff in this book, but it's still freaking amazing and awesome and just so cool. So I suggest you read it if you haven't, which most people have, but if you haven't, go read it. And then come back and we can talk about it. / you can watch me talk about it. And then you can comment and I can talk to you. And then we can actually talk together. And then, so bye! Alrighty, people who read Scarlet. This is a cool book, don't you think? I thought it was pretty cool. Though I will admit, in the beginning, anytime we were with Scarlet, I was like, okay, where's Cinder? I just wanted to know what was going on with Cinder. I thought what was happening between her was more exciting. I think I just like Cinder better as a character. I love Scarlet, though. I like Scarlet a lot. I like Wolf. I really like all of them. But I definitely lean more towards Cinder and Kai and Thorn than I do Scarlet and Wolf. However, I do like them. For a lot of it, I just wanted to get back to Cinder's point of view and just get going with what's going on with her awesomeness. The whole book, the entire book, I just wanted Kai to figure out that Cinder is Princess Celine. Like, put it together, Kai. You can do it. Why can't you do it? Just put it together. I want you to put it together and then you know. Seriously though, Kai, put it together, man. I want you to know. But we went through this whole book and you still don't know. How do you not know? Like, just put it together, man. Put it together. He never once even thinks or entertains the idea that possibly she could be the princess. He never even thinks about it. And I'm not mad at you, Kai. I love you, man, but I just want you to know. I want you to know we went through an entire book and you still don't know that Cinder is the princess. I just want you to know. Is that too much to ask? I just want you to know. Like, please, can we know? I'm so worked up about this because I just want Kai and Cinder back together. Happily ever after. And I know we have 2 more books after this, but is it too much to ask that I want him to at least know? I mean, they don't have to be together yet, but I want him to know what's going on. And none of that was fake. It was all real. She didn't even know she was a lunar. She wasn't keeping it from him. She wasn't doing her mind powers on him, which you would think he would know, because if she was doing her mind powers, don't you think she would have made herself like freaking hot and beautiful and perfect all the time? I mean, not that she necessarily would, but she was always so like frazzled and like with grease and stuff all over her. You would think that if she knew her powers, you would make yourself look more presentable in front of a prince if you could. At least I feel like I would do that, and that may be vain, but like, let's be real. He's a prince. And if you can make yourself look freaking amazing. And I'm so glad that Aiko is back because I love her. And she's the big freaking cool ship. And I think that's so cool. Like, she has more responsibility and they're able to relate on the fact that Aiko feels kind of overwhelmed with how much responsibility she has being the ship. And Cinder is overwhelmed with how much responsibility she's going to have of being a princess. So I thought that was really cool that they could kind of relate on a deeper level. And it's kind of strange how humanistic Aiko is and how much I really care about her as a character, even though she's simply a robot. But I think that's so cool that she really feels really human and really awesome. And Thorn, man, Thorn, I love you, man. Like, you are... I don't even know how to describe what you are, man. I always love those kind of arrogant, cocky characters. They're hilarious to me. Like, not the truly, like, douchebag arrogant, but the, like, funny, cocky, you know what I mean? Like, what Thorn is. I love those characters. I absolutely love them. And I love him. I love him so much. And I love his and Cinder's chemistry. Not like relationship chemistry, but like their friendship chemistry. Like, I thought when they were together, there was so much good chemistry going on there. All that bickering and how all that, but they end up growing on each other and they end up really caring about each other. Not just using each other for what the other person can offer, but actually caring about each other as friends. And I thought that was done really well, and I really liked them together. I thought that was amazing, and I loved them together. Like, I loved that they were together during this story because it was so cool, and I loved Cinder being super awesome. Like, now she's fighting a lot more than she was in the first one, and you're just like, get it, Cinder. In regards to Wolf and Scarlet's relationship, I do like it, though I have to say I'm more of a Cinder Kai person. I feel like Cinder and Kai had a little bit more depth. Not that they don't have depth, because they do. I guess I just like the feeling of Cinder and Kai's more. I guess I just didn't feel it as much as I felt Cinder and Kai, though I still love them together. I really do. And Wolf is definitely a dark soul that needs a lot of help. And Scarlet kind of sees the best in him, is able to help him kind of grow and be better. So I thought that was really cool, and yeah. I knew exactly what Wolf is, like, the whole time. Even when we read the first book, when they mentioned those wolf-like creatures, I was like, oh, Wolf, and this one is going to be either that kind or some variation. But as soon as they described him and he was more human-looking, I knew he was a variation of it. He wasn't that exact kind, but I knew he was an experiment like those wolves. So I knew the whole time that he was a part of some lunar thing, and that, because why else would they take the grandmother? So I wasn't surprised by that. I was expecting him to lean to lunars, and I was expecting him to have some kind of weird lunar crap going on in his head. So I wasn't surprised by that. I don't know if that was surprising to other people, or if, I don't know. I pretty much knew knew that in here, so I wasn't surprised by that. But once again, this story is so good that it doesn't matter, because how it happens and how it turns out, I don't know how that's going to happen. It's just there are things you learn that I already know before you learn it. But other than that, like, it's not that big of a deal. It was sad how Scarlet's grandmother ended up dying. I wasn't necessarily surprised by it, but it was sad because she went through all of that and she got there and then she watches her grandmother die. Like, she went through so much to get her and she can't even save her, and that's gotta be so hard. Like, I can't even imagine. Oh my gosh, when Cinder and them found that thing under the little garage or whatever it was at Scarlet and her grandmother's place, that was wicked. Like, the fact that Cinder kind of lived from age 3 to 11 in that tube thing and didn't have a life, that's crazy. That sucks. Honestly, that's sad. I can't even imagine basically missing 3 through 11. It's not like I remember a whole bunch from those age, but I still lived through it. I still had those years, you know? And it's just crazy that so many years of her life were taken away from her, and it took that long for them to heal her. Like, and I know they talk about the picture of the baby and how messed up the baby is, but still, the fact that it took that many years to fix her and make her whole again is ridiculous, because then it must have been so extensive. It's so strange, and I can't believe that she was living under there. Like, her and Scarlet were so close. Scarlet was there and she was under, and they had no idea. And I really, really liked that scene. I was surprised, though, that Thorn didn't figure out that Cinder was the princess, because they saw what was wrong. I guess the baby looks so different than she does, but I guess if you're just missing the leg and the arm like she was, like, that he would maybe put it together. But maybe because I already know, I just expect everyone to put it together, and it's not necessarily an easy thing to put together. I mean, you would expect something different. I guess if you just hear a princess, you expect them that they've kind of grown up a princess, but Cinder is kind of anything but. When Scarlet found out that her grandmother could resist the mind controlness, I knew that she probably had that thing installed. That just made total sense, because if she was there, and then before they even told you, I was like, oh, that makes sense. She got it installed. Can't. And then I'm like, I know that Cinder's adopted father died. He created this prototype, but it works. So can't they take that research and bring it to someone else? I hope that ends up happening in the last book, because I feel like they should take his research, give it to these really bright people, and they can figure it out too, because in that way, they can make everyone equal. They can make the Lunars equal. They can make the humans equal with each other, so that the Lunars, it can block them from using their powers, because they can't really help it, and it will stop them from being insane, because when they don't use their powers, they go kind of crazy and they get sick. So if they could stop that, then they wouldn't have a need to use their powers. And also, if you put it in other humans, then they couldn't be controlled. So then they could be equal and there wouldn't be this whole power trip going on. Plus, if you gave this to all humans, then some evil lunar queen couldn't come and ruin all of you. So I think hopefully that ends up happening, where they take that information and they use it for good to do this. And I think that's got to end up happening, right? Because I feel like you can't not do anything with that information. It's not like he died and took everything with him. Like, they still have all that science behind it, right? I mean, so they should do that. Anyways, guys, that was my lovely conversation about Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.